Very good morning to one and all, and I welcome you for the next lecture of heat transfer. Whether my voice is audible and can you see my presentation? Please let me know. You can comment in the chat box. Why students are leaving the meeting? I'm not getting. Is there any problem to join the meeting? Is there any problem to join the meeting? Everybody? By mistakenly, I have shared the link in B division group so that somewhat delay for to start the lecture. So please let me know whether my voice is audible to everyone and can you see my presentation. So B division student can leave this group. Okay, B division student can leave this meeting. Okay. Okay. And join Wangikar sir's lecture. So my voice is audible and can you see my presentation? B division students can leave this group and join Wangikar sir's lecture. And uh, A division students, please let me know whether my voice is audible and can you see my presentation? Okay, I'm audible. Okay, thank you. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about the heat conduction through composite wall, and also we have discussed the two problems, how to solve the problems on the plain wall and how to solve the problem on a composite wall. So for more practice, I will take one more problem on or a variety of a problem on composite wall. Okay, so please write down the problem statement, problem number 3 on a composite wall or a conduction through wall. Write down the statement: an exterior wall, an exterior wall. Please keep your calci with you, and everybody please be attentive because these problems are very much important. Okay, in future for any of the mechanical related uh, examination like gate, like railway, okay, like PSU jobs, these problems are most important in that examination. Okay, most more weightage or 2 to 3 problems from this conduction topic will be there. Okay, so please be attentive. If you have any doubt, any question, you can ask immediately. No doubt, no problem. So problem number 3, write down the statement: an exterior wall, an exterior wall of a house, an exterior wall of a house, an exterior wall of a house may be approximated, may be approximated, may be approximated by 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 a 0.1 meter layer, by a 0.1 meter layer of common brick, by 0.1 meter layer of common brick, in bracket thermal conductivity of brick is provided, that is K is equal to 0.48, 0.48, 0.48 watt per meter degree Celsius, 0.48 watt per meter degree Celsius, 0.48 watt per meter degree Celsius. Bracket complete. What thickness of loosely packed rock wool, what thickness of loosely packed rock wool insulation, what thickness of loosely packed rock wool insulation, in bracket K is equal to, in bracket K is equal to 0.065, in bracket K is equal to 0.065 watt per meter degree Celsius. Okay, in bracket what is provided? Rock wool insulation thermal conductivity is provided. So K is equal to 0.065 watt per meter degree Celsius. Bracket complete. Should be added, should be added, should be added to reduce, to reduce, to reduce the heat loss, the heat loss or gain, heat loss or gain through wall, heat loss or gain through wall, through the wall by 80%, through the wall by 80%. Okay, through the wall by 80%. Okay, so in a simple language, one house is there, and that particular house is having wall made up of common brick, okay, and its thermal conductivity is 0.48. Now we have to reduce the heat transfer through that particular wall, or heat gain through that particular wall, by 80%. So in that case, how much thickness of rock wool insulation should be provided on that particular wall? So rock wool insulation thickness is insulation thermal conductivity is provided, okay, and we have to find out the thickness of rock wool, okay. Here the given data is thickness of common brick is provided, common brick wall is provided, thermal conductivity of common brick is provided, and the rock wool insulation is provided, okay. So we have to discuss further in this particular data, okay. Okay, so some mistake is there from my side. An exterior wall of a house may be approximated by 0.1 meter layer of a common brick, and the thermal conductivity, common brick thermal conductivity is 0.7, okay, write down 0.7, but followed by, full stop, followed by, okay, you can show the direction, followed by a 0.04 meter layer of gypsum plaster, gypsum plaster, okay, and in bracket thermal conductivity is provided, K is equal to K is equal to 0.48 watt per meter degree Celsius, control से watt per meter degree Celsius, okay, and then it is provided what thickness of loosely packed rock wool insulation, K is equal to 0.065 watt per meter degree Celsius should be added to reduce the heat loss or gain through the wall by 80%, okay. So make the changes in the problem. An exterior wall of a house may be approximated by a 0.1 meter layer of a common brick, in bracket thermal conductivity is 0.7 watt per meter degree Celsius, bracket complete, full stop, followed by a 0.04 meter layer of a gypsum plaster, in bracket K is equal to 0.48 watt per meter degree Celsius, bracket complete, full stop. What thickness of loosely packed rock wool insulation, in bracket K is equal to 0.065 watt per meter degree Celsius should be added to reduce the heat loss or gain through the wall by 80%, okay. So now the scenario is that the house wall is made up of common brick, okay. Over that wall the gypsum plaster layer is provided, okay, and through that particular gypsum plaster and the common brick, some amount of heat is transforming across the wall, and we have to reduce that particular heat by 80% by adding the rock wool insulation over the plaster, okay. Over the plaster, by adding rock wool insulation, we have to reduce the heat loss through the wall by 80%, okay. So what will be the thickness of that particular rock wool insulation, okay. Initially some amount of heat is transferring through common brick and composition of a common brick and gypsum plaster wall, and we have to reduce that particular heat by 80%. Okay, we have to reduce that heat by 80%, and for that purpose we are adding the rock wool insulation over the gypsum plaster, and we have to find out, to reduce the heat loss or heat gain by 80%, what thickness of a rock wool insulation should be added, okay, or should be provided over that particular composite wall. Okay, getting everyone? Now the given data will be the thickness of the common brick. We have to consider it as L suffix A, and which is equal to 0.1 meter, and thickness of uh, gypsum plaster is L suffix B. We have to consider it as a B wall as a gypsum plaster, and its thickness is L suffix B, and it is equal to 0.4 okay, meter. And we have to find out the thickness of rock wool. Okay, we have to find out the thickness of rock wool. So here diagrammatic representation, you can follow this diagrammatic representation in every problem for the understanding purpose. What we are going to consider in the problem, it will be understood from the diagram only. Okay, so A wall is the common brick wall, A wall is the common brick wall, B wall is the gypsum plaster wall, and C wall is the rock wool wall. Okay, so now thickness of these particular walls are provided in the given data. Okay, are provided in the given data. Now we have to determine the LC. Okay, we have to determine the LC, that is the thickness of rock wool. Thickness of rock wool. Okay, now initially what we are going to consider? We are going to consider that initially there is no rock wool insulation provided over the wall. So in that case, what will be the heat transfer? What will be the heat transfer? And second case we are going to consider as when the rock wool insulation is provided. So when rock wool insulation is provided, at that time the heat transfer will be reduced by 80% of initial heat transfer. When initially there is no rock wool insulation is provided over the gypsum plaster. Okay, so in this manner we have to solve this particular problem, and we have to determine the thickness LC, okay, or the thickness of a rock wool. Okay, so draw this diagram. For more visibility, you can rotate your screen, and you can use the zoom feature of zoom in, zoom out feature of the Google Meet. Okay, so write down given data. L suffix A is provided 0.1 meter, L suffix B is 0.04 meter, and L suffix C is X meter. Okay, so that we have to determine. Unknown quantity is thickness of rock wool insulation. Okay, thickness of rock wool insulation to reduce the heat transfer by 80%. To reduce the heat transfer by 80%. And also draw this simple diagram, one-dimensional diagram. Okay, one-dimensional diagram. So wall is the common brick, wall B is the gypsum plaster, and wall C is the rock wool wall. And provide the thicknesses. L suffix A is equal to 0.1 meter, L suffix B is equal to 0.04 meter, and L suffix C is equal to X. Okay, L suffix C is equal to X, and we have to find out this X value. Okay, over. Now, so case one, as we have discussed that when rock wool insulation is not used, okay, initial condition when we have not provided the rock wool insulation. So in that case, the heat transfer across the wall, we have to consider it as a Q1. Okay, heat transfer across the wall, we have to consider it as a Q1. So in that case, we can say that the temperature difference between across two walls as a dt. Okay, temperature difference across the wall will be equal to dt, and the thermal resistance divided by thermal resistance of two walls, divided by thermal resistance of two walls. So thermal resistance of a wall will be equal to L suffix A divided by K suffix A multiplied by area. Okay, where this L suffix A is the thickness of wall A, K suffix A is the thermal conductivity of wall A, and area is the perpendicular surface area for the heat flow. Okay, or perpendicular the area perpendicular to the heat flow. Now, in a similar fashion, we have to add up the resistance of wall B. Okay, so wall B having the length of or thickness of L suffix B, and it is having the thermal conductivity of K suffix B multiply by area. Okay, getting everyone how to manipulate the equation according to the given data and according to the parameters available in the problem. Okay, or in the given data. Okay, so that we have considered as case one. We have considered what we have considered when there is no rock insulation provided over the gypsum plaster. So in that case only two resistance will be there. Okay, first one is the rock wool, first one is the common brick resistance, and second one is the gypsum resistance. Okay, so that two resistance we have to add it over here. Okay, in the denominator side, and the total temperature difference we have taken on the numerator side. Okay, so Q1 is equal to temperature difference divided by summation of all the resistance. Okay, temperature difference divided by summation of all the resistance. Now in this particular equation, A is we can say that A for both the resistance is similar one. Okay, it is not changing. So we can take the A common from the 1 upon A common from the denominator side, and we can shift it to the numerator side. Okay, we can shift it to the numerator side. Okay, so we have taken A common from the denominator side. Okay, and we have shifted it to the numerator side. Okay, so from the denominator it will be 1 upon A. Okay, 1 upon A, and if you shift it to the numerator, then it will become A multiplied by dt divided by whole divided by L suffix A multiply divided by K suffix A plus L suffix B divided by K suffix B. Getting everyone? Now further we have to add the values of L, K. Okay, L suffix A, K suffix A, and L suffix B, K suffix B in this particular equation. So our equation will becomes, okay, Q1, that is the heat transfer when there is when we are not using the rock wool insulation. Okay, rock wool insulation. So in that case, the Q1 amount of heat will be transferred, and it is equal to A multiplied by dt divided by, so thickness of wall A is 0.1. Okay, and the thermal conductivity of wall A is 0.7, right? Plus the thickness of wall B is 0.04 divided by thickness of wall thermal conductivity of wall B is 0.48. Okay, so that will be heat transfer equation when we are not using the rock wool insulation. When we are not using the rock wool insulation, once we have applied the rock wool insulation to that particular over that gypsum plaster, then one more resistance will be added. Okay, one more resistance will be added, and the heat reduction will be happen by 80%. Okay, and for that purpose we have to find out the thickness of rock wool insulation. Okay, for that purpose we have to find out the thickness of rock wool insulation. So when rock wool insulation is used, so in that case what will be the heat transfer rate? So it is equal to Q2 is equal to A multiplied by dt whole divided by L suffix A divided by K suffix A plus L suffix B divided by K suffix L suffix A divided by K suffix A plus L suffix B divided by K suffix B plus L suffix C divided by K suffix C. What we have done? We have consumed this particular step. Directly we have shifted A to the numerator in this particular equation. Directly we have shifted capital A, that is the area, to the numerator side because it is common in all three terms. Okay, it is common in all three terms. Okay, just after getting this equation for the heat transfer, when rock wool insulation is used, then we have to put up the values of all the thicknesses and all the thermal conductivities. Okay, so in this case the value of L suffix C, that is the thickness of rock wool insulation, is unknown. So instead of that L suffix C, we have to consider it as a X, and that we have to determine. Okay, So equation will becomes A multiplied by dt divided by 0.1 divided by 0.7 plus 0.04 divided by 0.48 plus x divided by 0.065. Getting everyone? Getting everyone? Everyone with me? Have you written all the points? Please comment in the chat box whether you are understanding the problem or not. Initially, what we have considered, there is no rock wool insulation. So in that case, what will be the heat transfer? Okay. Okay, great. And in second case, what we have considered? In second case, we have considered that we are applying the rock wool insulation. And in that case, what will be the heat transfer? Okay. So what is change in Q2 equation? We have to add up one more resistance of rock wool insulation. So resistance always adding in the denominator side. Resistance always adding in a denominator side. So in that particular rock wool insulation resistance, LC is unknown. So instead of that, we have put up X, and K suffix C is known. So that value is we have put up in that equation as 0.065. Okay. Now further, according to the statement, we know that according to the problem statement, when we add up the rock wool insulation, the initial heat transfer rate will reduced by 80%. Will reduced by 80%. Okay, will reduced by 80%. So the Q2 is the heat transfer when the rock wool insulation is added. So Q2 will be equal to 80% reduction in initial heat transfer. Q2 is equal to 80% reduction in initial heat transfer. So initial heat transfer when there is a no rock wool insulation present, so it is equal to Q1. Okay, and reduction in that initial heat transfer, we have to write as a minus 80% of a Q1. We have to write it as a minus 80% of a Q1. Okay, so that will provide you equation for or the value for Q2. Okay, heat transfer, Q2 is the heat transfer when we are add up the rock wool insulation, and when rock wool insulation is added, then the heat transfer will be reduced by 80%. Okay, initial heat transfer when the wall is manufactured by using the common brick and gypsum. So at that time, what is the heat transfer? And reduction in that heat transfer will happen by 80%. Okay, so 80% of initial heat transfer. 80% of initial heat transfer will be reduced. So our equation will become Q2 is equal to Q1 minus 80% of Q1. Okay, Q2 is equal to 80%. Q2 is equal to Q1 minus 80% of Q1. Okay, so let us say initially 100 watt heat is transforming. So reduction in initial heat, 80% reduction means what? 100 minus 80. Okay, 100 minus 80. So similar fashion, we have considered the same logic to consider this particular equation. So if you take the Q1 common from this side, so we will get 1 minus 80 divided by 100. 80% means what? 80 divided by 100. Okay, so 1 minus 80 divided by 100. So 80 divided by 100, it will become 0.8. So 1 minus 0.8, we will get Q2 is equal to 0.2 Q1. Q2 is equal to 0.2 Q1. Q2 is equal to 0.2 Q1. Okay, getting everyone? Now Q2 is known. Okay, Q2 equation is known. Okay, this is the Q2 equation we have determined, and Q1 equation is also known. Already we have discussed the Q1 equation. Just put up the values of or the equations of a Q2 and Q1 for this equation. Okay, just put up the equations for Q2 and Q1 in this particular equation. Okay, so Q2 is 8 multiplied by dt divided by 0.1 divided by 0.7 plus 0.04 divided by 0.48 plus x divided by 0.065, and Q1 is a divided by a multiplied by dt divided by 0.1 divided by 0.7 plus 0.04 divided by 0.48. So that two equations or the two values of a Q1 and Q2 we have to put up in this particular equation. So Q2 we have put up on the left side and Q1 we have put up on the right side by multiplying with 0.2, by multiplying with 0.2. Now ADT on the right side is also there on the numerator side, and ADT also there on the numerator side on the left side. Okay, right side and left side. So we can cancel it. Okay, ADT will be cancelled. So remaining equation will becomes 1 upon this term, and it 0.2 multiply by 1 upon this term. Okay, now we have to cross multiply this. Okay, cross multiplication. After doing the cross multiplication, we'll get the value for x. We'll get the value for x. Okay, so initially what we have done, we have done the cross multiplication. 0.2 multiply by this bracket, 0.2 multiply by this bracket, and 1 multiply by this bracket, 1 multiply by this bracket. ADT will be cancelled. Okay, so we will get the equation 0.2 multiply by, in a square bracket, 0.1 divided by 0.7 plus 0.04 divided by 0.48 plus x divided by 0.065, bracket complete, is equal to 0.1 divided by 0.7 plus 0.04 divided by 0.48. Okay, now do calculation. Okay, first of all do the fraction calculation, okay, and then find out the x value. Tell me the x value. Getting everyone how to solve the problem, these kinds of problems? Do calculation and find out the x value. Tell me the value of x. Okay, you can comment in the chat box. Okay. Okay. Okay, 0.05821, 0.05821. Whether you are getting 5889. Okay, so my answer is 0.0588. Okay, or you can say 89 also. 0.0589. Okay, so that will be the correct answer. Okay, is there any question, any doubt whether you are getting how to solve the problem? Now, one more variety of this problem we are going to discuss in this particular lecture. Okay, so problem number 4. Write down the problem number 4. Problem number 4. Problem number 4. Find the heat flow rate. Find the heat flow rate. Find the heat flow rate find the heat flow rate through the composite wall. So you can make it as a very IMP problem in the sense of a gate. Okay, in the sense of a gate examination, your gate examination. Okay, find the heat flow rate for 2 mark problem. Find the heat flow rate through the composite wall. Find the heat flow rate through the composite wall as shown in figure. As shown in figure. As shown in figure. As shown in figure. Full stop. Assume one-dimensional heat flow. One-dimensional heat flow. One, write down here one also. One-dimensional heat flow. Assume one-dimensional heat flow. Full stop. Full stop. Width of slab is 10 centimeter. Width of slab is 10 centimeter. Width of slab is 10 centimeter. Okay. Width of slab is 10 centimeter. Okay. Write down the thermal conductivities of A slab, B slab, C slab, and D slab. So thermal conductivity of A wall or A material is equal to 150 watt per meter degree Celsius. Thermal conductivity of B wall or B material is equal to 30 watt per meter degree Celsius. Thermal conductivity of C wall is equal to 65 watt per meter degree Celsius and thermal conductivity of D wall, okay, thermal conductivity of D wall is equal to 50 watt per meter degree Celsius. 50 watt per meter degree Celsius. Okay, so it's unity. 50 watt per meter degree Celsius. Okay. Now, as shown in figure is provided. Okay, figure is provided. So if you want to draw 3-dimensional figure, you can draw it. Okay, if not possible, you can draw the 2-dimensional figure also, no problem. Okay, 1-dimensional figure also, no problem. Now the composite wall is provided. Now let's see the structure of composite wall. Okay, so see the structure of a composite wall. Now heat is flowing from this direction to this direction. Okay, heat is flowing in this direction to this direction. Width of wall is provided as a 10 centimeter. This is the width of wall. This is the height. Okay, and this is the thickness. Okay, so total thickness thickness is provided for each wall. So this is the A wall, this is the B wall, this is the C wall, and this is D wall. Okay, so it is not a general wall. Okay, as we are discussed up till now. So in that we have seen that each wall is having same area. Okay, each wall is having same area, but here the area differs as per the wall structure. Okay, here the area differs as per the wall structure. Now heat is flowing in this direction. Okay, the temperature of this face is provided as a 400 degrees Celsius, and temperature of this face is provided as a 60 degrees Celsius. Okay, now first wall is having A, second is B. We can say that B and C are parallel to each other, and D is we can say that in a series. Now here most important thing is that how to calculate the heat transfer rate, or how to calculate the thermal resistance in this particular case. So for that reason we have to use the electrical analogy. For that purpose we have to use the electrical analogy. So when the resistance are in series, we have to add up that resistance, and when the resistance are in parallel, so then if you say that resistance A and B are in parallel, okay, so then we have to take the equivalent resistance of a two resistance. Okay, so here B wall and C wall are parallel to each other, whereas A wall is in a series for this B and C. Okay, A wall is in series for B and C. So in this matter, in this condition, we have to form the electrical analogy for this particular wall. We have to form the electrical analogy for this particular wall. Okay, so let us consider that the wall thicknesses are provided in the diagram. So A wall is having the thickness of 3 centimeter, B and C wall is having the thickness of 8 centimeter, and D wall is having the thickness of 5 centimeter. Whereas the height of A wall is 10 centimeter, addition of 3 centimeter plus 7 centimeter. So height of A wall is 10 centimeter. Now height of B wall is 3 centimeter, height of C wall is 7 centimeter, and height of D wall is 10 centimeter once again. Okay, height of D wall is 10 centimeter once again. So to calculate the area, okay, perpendicular surface area, this is the perpendicular surface area. Okay, this is the perpendicular surface area for the heat transfer. To calculate this perpendicular surface area for each wall, we required the width is 10 centimeter, and height, okay, height is 10 centimeter for a wall. Okay, for B wall, it is width is equal to 10 centimeter and height is equal to 3 centimeter. For C wall, width is 10 centimeter and height is 7 centimeter. For D wall, width is 10 centimeter and height is 10 centimeter. So width multiplied by height, or we can say that length multiplied by height, we will get the perpendicular surface area for the heat flow. Okay, perpendicular heat surface area for the heat flow. Okay, so that is the requirement to calculate the resistance or the thermal resistance for each wall. Okay, so this is the given figure. You can draw this given figure also. Okay, you can draw this given figure. Or shall we move ahead? Okay, so once you have drawn the given figure, but we need not to consider the three-dimensional figure. This is the three-dimensional figure. We have to carry it out only one-dimensional heat flow. So we have to convert this three-dimensional figure into one-dimensional figure. Okay. So for that reason, we have considered this one-dimensional figure. Okay, conversion of given figure. Okay. So wall A, wall B, wall C, wall D. Okay, wall A, wall C, wall B, wall C, wall D. So heat is flowing in this direction. We have provided the heat flow from A wall to the D wall. Okay, outer surface of A wall to the outer surface of D wall. Okay, and all the dimensions are given. Now wall A is in a series for wall B and wall C. Okay, but wall B and wall C are in a parallel. Okay, wall B and wall C are in a parallel. Okay, and wall D is in a series for wall B and wall C. Okay, wall D is in a series for wall B and wall C. Okay, so in a similar fashion, we have to formulate, or we have to draw the electrical circuit for this particular composite wall. Okay, electrical circuit for the composite wall. Okay, so electrical circuit for the composite wall will be in this manner. Okay, so wall A is in a series for wall B and wall C. So we have drawn here in a similar fashion. Wall B and C are parallel to each other. So parallel diagram we have drawn over here. And wall D, once again, it is here for in a series for B and C. Okay, it is in a series for B and C. So initial temperature is 400 degrees Celsius and final temperature is 60 degrees Celsius. And heat is flowing from wall external surface of wall A to the external surface of wall D. Okay, external surface of wall D. So RTHA, that is the thermal resistance of wall A, will be in a series, whereas B, thermal resistance of wall B and wall C are in a parallel. Okay, and thermal resistance of a D will be in a series. Okay, getting everyone? Whether you understood the two-dimensional diagram and the electrical analogy circuit for this particular wall. Okay, electrical analogy circuit for this particular wall. Okay. Getting everyone? So now next, the areas are different one. In this particular case, areas are different one for each wall, so that we have to consider or we have to calculate initially all the areas. Okay, initially all the areas. Okay, area means what? Perpendicular surface area. Which area is perpendicular to heat flow? This is the direction of heat flow, and perpendicular surface area is this face area. This face area is the perpendicular surface area for the heat flow. For in case of a wall, perpendicular surface area will be equal to width. Width is equal to 10 centimeter multiplied by height. Height is equal to 10 centimeter, because here it is provided as 3 centimeter and 7 centimeter. Okay, so total height is 10 centimeter for the A wall, and width is equal to 10 centimeter. So perpendicular surface area is, we can get as 10 centimeter multiplied by 10 centimeter, height multiplied by width. Okay, so in a similar fashion, so 10 centimeter is nothing but 0.1 meter multiplied by 0.1 meter, which will be equal to 0.01 meter square. So that will be the area of a perpendicular surface area of a wall. In a similar fashion, the perpendicular surface area of a B wall will be equal to 0.1 width multiplied by height. B wall height. Okay, B wall height is 3 centimeter. Here also you can get the B wall height is 3 centimeter. Okay, B wall height is 3 centimeter. So 0.1 multiplied by 0.03. Okay, so which will get us a area of B wall. So and it is equal to 0.003 meter square. In a similar fashion, area of a C wall will be equal to width is 0.1 meter and height is 0.07 meter. Okay, it is equal to 0.007 meter square. Okay, and then area of a D wall, perpendicular surface area of a D wall will be equal to 0.1 multiplied by 0.1, because width is 0.1 meter and height is also 0.1 meter for the D wall. So height for the D wall is 3 centimeter plus 7 centimeter. It is equal to 10 centimeter and it is equal to 0.1 meter. Okay, so that the area of a D wall is equal to 0.01 meter square. Area of D wall is 0.01 meter square. Now, next we have to determine. We know that what is meant by heat transfer in a composite wall. We have discussed that it is the difference of it is equal to heat transfer in a composite wall equal to the total temperature difference. Okay, initial temperature minus final temperature whole divided by addition of all the thermal resistance. Addition of all the thermal resistance. So that is nothing but heat transfer in a composite wall. So here we know the initial temperature and final temperature, but here it is not that much easy to calculate the thermal resistance of a parallel slabs. Thermal resistance of a parallel slab. In case of a series slabs, in case of a series slab, it is just a addition of a two thermal resistance. But in case of a parallel slab, we have to determine the equivalent resistance. In case of a parallel slab, we have to determine the equivalent resistance, and then that particular resistance will be in a parallel. That particular resistance will be in a series to another resistance. That equivalent resistance will be in a series to another resistance. So first of all, we have to determine the thermal resistance RTHA, RTHB, RTHC, and RTHD. Okay, so thermal resistance for wall A will be provided as L suffix A divided by K suffix A multiplied by A suffix A. Okay, all the quantities are known quantities. That is, L suffix A is the thickness of wall A, K suffix A is the thermal conductivity of wall A, and A suffix A is the area of wall A. So area we have calculated over here. Thermal conductivity is the given quantity, and thickness of wall is also provided. So wall A thickness is 3 centimeter. Okay, wall A thickness is 3 centimeter. Here it is provided wall A thickness is 3 centimeter. Okay, so we have put up all the quantities over here. 0.03 whole divided by 150 multiplied by 150 is the thermal conductivity of wall A multiplied by area of wall A. Okay, perpendicular surface area of wall A 0.01. Okay, calculate the thermal resistance for wall A. In similar fashion, the thermal resistance for wall B, it is equal to RTH suffix B will be equal to L suffix B divided by K suffix B multiplied by A suffix B. L suffix B, that is the thickness of wall B, thickness of wall B. Okay, so thickness of wall B is 8 centimeter. You can see over here, thickness of wall C is the 8 centimeter. So we have put up the thickness as 0.08, and the thermal conductivity of wall B is 65 watt per meter square degree Celsius, and the area for the wall B we have calculated, and it is equal to 0.07. Then calculate RTH. Oh, okay, we are here. The thermal conductivity of wall B is 30, and the area for wall B is 0.03. Okay, and similarly for wall C, similarly for wall D, we have to calculate the thermal resistance. We have to calculate the thermal resistance. Okay, calculate the thermal resistance, and you can put up your answer. What is the thermal resistance for wall A? Thermal resistance for wall A. Please let me know in the chat box. Thermal resistance for wall A. Thermal resistance of wall A. You can comment in the chat box. 0.02. Right. 0.02. Okay. Then wall B. Wall B thermal resistance. Do calculation everyone, because this will provide you good hands-on calci. Wall B 0.89. Okay, 0.89 wall B thermal resistance. Wall C thermal resistance. Wall C thermal resistance. Please let me know wall C thermal resistance. LC divided by K suffix C multiplied by A suffix C. So LC 0.08 divided by 65 multiplied by 0.07. 65 multiplied by 0.07. Wall C thermal resistance. Whether you are getting 0.176 for wall C. And the last one, wall D, RTH suffix D, that is the thermal resistance of wall D. How much it is? L suffix D divided by K suffix D multiplied by A suffix D, which is equal to 0.05 divided by 50 multiplied by 0.1, 0.01. Okay. It will be equal to 0.1. Please check the answers. Please check the answer. Do calculation, everyone. Okay, A suffix C. Is there any problem? A suffix C. 0 point. Okay, okay. 0.07. Okay. Right now, 007. Right now. Ah, right. 0.007. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. Okay. So wall D thermal resistance is 0.1. Great. Okay. Now we have discussed that addition of series resistance, it will be easy. Okay. But if you want to add the parallel resistance, in that case we have to determine the equivalent resistance. Okay. Once you determine the equivalent resistance, then it will be easy to add up the all the resistance. Okay. Then we have, it will be add up, it will be easy to add up all the resistance. Okay. So equivalent resistance means what? It will provide the resistance, equivalent resistance in a series, okay. So we have to determine, the equivalent resistance for slab B and slab C. Okay. So that will provide you equivalent resistance for slab B and slab C. We know that if you want to if you want to perform the addition of parallel resistance, okay, parallel resistance, so in that case we have to do the addition in this particular manner. So 1 upon equivalent resistance will be equal to 1 upon resistance of a B wall plus 1 upon resistance of a C wall. Okay, 1 upon resistance of a C wall. Getting everyone? How to add up? Don't put up the roll numbers. Okay, so no need to put up, or else I will mark it at absentee for all these roll numbers. Okay, don't show your punctuality over here. Okay, so if you want to add the parallel resistance, so in that case we have to follow this particular rule of electric circuit. We have to follow this rule of electric circuit. So equivalent resistance of a parallel circuit or parallel resistance will be equal to reciprocal of one resistance plus reciprocal of another resistance, so we'll get the equivalent resistance as 1 upon RTH BC is equal to 1 upon RTH B plus 1 upon RTH C. Okay, 1 upon RTH C. Okay, so further what we have to do, we have to cross multiply this. Okay, and find out the 1 upon RTH BC. Okay, we have to cross multiply this and we have to find out the RTH BC. Okay, so insert equation 1 upon okay, 1 upon RTH BC is equal to, we can say, is equal to, do cross multiplication. So after cross multiplication, what we will get in bracket, or we will take the division as early. RTH B plus RTH C divided by R RTH B multiply by R suffix THC. Okay, so we will get this equation. Now put up the value of RTHB plus RTHC, or we can take the reciprocal. Okay, so reciprocal will be what will be the reciprocal? If you take the reciprocal, it will becomes, okay, we need to take the reciprocal, then it will becomes R suffix TH bracket complete, once again suffix BC. Yes, suffix. Okay, so you have to take the reciprocal over here. Okay, so reciprocal of this, and then calculate the RTHBC. Tell me the value RTHBC. Okay, 0.1461. Right, right. Okay, calculate RTHBC. 0. Zero point 147. Okay, I'm getting 0.147. Okay, so once you calculated the equivalent resistance, now it will be easy to calculate the total resistance. Okay, RTH total, calculate the total resistance. Now it will be addition of RTHA plus RTHBC plus RTHD. Okay, it will be addition of RTHA, RTHBC, RTHA plus RTHBC plus RTHD. Okay, so what it is, we will get the R total. Okay, we will get the RTH total. Okay, RTH total will be equal to RTHA plus RTHBC plus RTHD. Okay, now RTHA is known, RTHBC is also we have calculated, and RTHD also we have calculated. Okay, so do calculation and find out the total resistance, and determine the Q. Okay, determine the Q as total temperature difference divided by RTH total. Determine the Q as total temperature difference divided by total thermal resistance. Okay, so total thermal resistance. Okay, calculate Q and tell me the value. of Q? So Q is equal to dt. Q is equal to dt divided by, in bracket, R th total. So calculate Q, okay, dt divided by RTH total. Calculate Q value. So first of all, what we have done, we have find out the equivalent resistance for the parallel circuit. Then we converted it into equivalent series resistance, and then we have added all three resistance. Okay, RTH A plus RTH BC. This is the equivalent resistance for B and C, which are in a parallel. Plus RTH D is in a series only. So we have added these three resistance. Okay. Then we know that our heat transfer rate formula is dt divided by total thermal resistance. Okay. So total thermal resistance, once you have calculated, dt is the T1 minus T2. T1 is the 400 degrees Celsius, and initial temperature is 400 degrees Celsius, and final temperature is 60 degrees Celsius. So overall temperature difference, if you take, then it will becomes 400 minus 60 whole divided by total thermal resistance. Okay, total thermal resistance. Please tell me the value of Q. Value of Q. Okay, dt, if you want to write here as 400 minus 60. Okay, so this is the total temperature difference. And how much you have calculated RTH? RTH total. So whether it is 0.267 RTH total, 0.267. Now calculate Q. Calculate Q. Okay. Right. So many students are calculating and getting the answer as 1273.40. Great. So right answer. Everyone getting right answer. So Q will be equal to 1273.4 watt. 1273.4 watt. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, getting everyone how to solve the problem. Okay, if such a composite wall problem will be asked in the examination, then how to solve this particular problem. So first of all, we have to convert, we have to find out all the thermal resistance. Okay, we have to find out all the, we have to first of all convert the diagram into one dimensional diagram, and draw the electrical analogy diagram for the composite wall. Okay, then we'll come to know that which are the resistance are in a series and which are the resistance are in a parallel. Then those parallel resistance we have to convert into a equivalent series resistance. Once it will be converted into a equivalent series resistance, then add up all that resistance which are in a series. Okay, once you add up the resistance, we will get the total resistance, and we know that the total heat transfer or heat transfer across the composite wall will be equal to the initial temperature minus final temperature whole divided by total thermal resistance. Okay, divided by total thermal resistance, and that will provide you the total heat transfer across the composite slab. Okay, getting everyone? Now there is no doubt about this particular composite wall. How to solve the composite walls problems on a composite wall which are in a parallel, okay, or series parallel combination. So in that case, we have to use this particular consideration of a parallel combination and series combination. Okay. So in case of a series combination, it will be very easy. to add up the thermal resistance. But when the walls are in a parallel, in that case, we have to consider the equivalent resistance. Okay, we have to consider the equivalent resistance. Getting everyone? Is there any doubt, any question? Whether you understood this particular problem, please let me know in the comment box. If you have any doubt, then also you can ask. Okay. So how we have converted equivalent resistance? Great, great. So just we have applied the electrical methodology. In electrical methodology, how parallel circuits are converted into a equivalent series circuit. Okay, so that methodology we have used here, and we have finding out the equivalent resistance for the parallel resistance. Okay, and once we have converted that into a equivalent series resistance, then it will be easy to find out the total resistance. Okay, total thermal resistance. So by adding all the resistance in a series format, we can find out the total resistance. And once you determine the total resistance, we know that Q is equal to, in composite wall, Q is equal to overall temperature difference divided by total thermal resistance. Okay, divided by total thermal resistance. So that just put up the overall temperature difference, that is T1 minus or the initial temperature minus final temperature, whole divided by total thermal resistance. You will get the Q value at 1273.4, 1273.4. Okay, so we'll stop here. I have taken your 15 to 20 minutes time more. Okay, so let it be. Have a patience. Now you can put up your roll numbers in the chat box, and you can leave this particular meeting if you don't have any question, any doubt. If you have any doubt, you can ask now only. You can clear the doubts in the lectures. Okay, so in the next lecture we will discuss about the thermal contact resistance. Okay, thermal contact resistance. Remaining student, you just put up your roll numbers in the chat box and you can leave. Okay, if you don't have any doubt.